So as part of this mini project that we're doing, for the topic that I chose for the criminal thinking error, I chose to talk about the victim stance and how that plays a role in individual rights as well as public order. Um, so as part of the victim stance, the criminal views themselves as the victim in their situation. Um, they don't take responsibility for their actions, which have gotten them into the situation that they're in. Um, they'll blame others um, for the mistakes that they've made, or just that they influence them in a way that caused their behavior to make some of the choices that they've made that have, I guess you could say, ruined their lives in some way because they feel that the world is against them and they just have a hard time for whatever reason taking responsibility. And like with my job, with working in a jail setting, I see it all the time with different criminals that you'll talk to them about their case or whatever, and they'll talk about how it was my friend's fault. I had nothing to do with it, but I'm the one that's stuck here. Those are the type of inmates that I can always um, count on coming back to jail once they were released, because until they learn to take responsibility for their actions, they're going to continue to make those same mistakes and have to pay the consequences of doing so. So with that being said, I know one story that I actually talked about in my final project is a story of when I went to a court hearing of an 18-year-old kid um, that the judge talked about how he had a lengthy juvenile record, and the 18-year-old kid started to talk and tried to excuse his behavior by blaming his friends and how they influenced him and how he didn't want to act that way, but because of the kids he chose to hang out with, he felt he needed to take place in some of the choices they were doing. And as the judge was listening to this, I kind of saw him kind of laugh and whatnot, like under his, like it wasn't loud enough for everyone to hear, but you could kind of just tell that he wasn't amused by what the 18-year-old kid was saying to him. He just told him like, hey, like the judge told him like, hey, this is the adult system now. We don't mess around. If you continue to make these actions you're making, then you could eventually go to prison. Like this is serious. We take these things very seriously. We're here to correct your behavior. So with how this ties into individual rights with the victim stance, even though these people have committed a crime, they still have their rights. They still deserve to be treated as human, and as if they have their rights still. But also pertains to public order, because even though they did commit a crime, they still need to be punished for that crime. They have to receive some type of sanction to maintain public order and safety to the community as well, to themselves as well. But that is just my take of what the victim stance and how it pertains to individual rights and public order.